Hi, I'm Phyllis from southernfrugal.com. Today we're going to have us a good old country meal. We are. I haven't cooked a country meal in a pretty good while, and I didn't record earlier because there's so much steam in here because I steamed cabbage and boiled some potatoes in their skin, so we're going to have some country potatoes. I've taken the skin off now. We're also going to have some cooked pink lady apples, which are my absolute favorite, and crowder peas. This is purple hull crowder peas we're going to have, and those are already done. And so we're going to fry us up some pork chops, and after the pork chops get done, we're going to fry us up some biscuits in that same oil. This is what I use on the pork chops because I don't quite trust them to be tender, even though they're center cut. And by the way, I got them on sale at Bilo, and they worked out to be about 80 cents a pork chop, which works for me. Alright, so all we're going to do is I've got the grease already heated up, or the oil, and I'm just going to put them in some flour. Get that flour mashed in really good. And no other seasoning on them other than the tenderizer, which already has some salt in it. So don't want to put any more if you use tenderizer. Alright, so I'm getting them good and coated. I've got my skillet on just a little bit below medium because I want them to sizzle once they get in the oil or grease to fry them in. Yeah, so we're going to use the same skillet to make the fried biscuits. And I've done videos on biscuits before. I'm not sure if I've done them on fried biscuits, but it's basically the same thing, just flour, self-rising flour, a little bit of Crisco, and buttermilk. So I'm just mashing that flour into that pork chop as much as I can. So we're just having two because it's just the two of us. Alright, so now I've got to wash my hands, and I'm going to show you how we're going to fix the country potatoes. So we'll be right back. Alright, so I've got about 2 tablespoons of butter in this pot. Now this pot's stained because this is the same one I fix the tea in usually. So I've clarified the butter just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put in my potatoes now. I just took the skin off, left the eyes and everything in there. Also going to go ahead and put in a whole bunch of salt, because of course you know that the potatoes really soak up the salt. This is about a half a cup of milk with 1 tablespoon of just regular plain flour. Take those off the burner just a second. I'm going to mix just a little water with this flour. So this is flour, milk, and water. A tablespoon of water, about a half a cup of milk, and maybe a third a cup of water. Alright, so we're just going to dump this in to the potatoes. And we've already got our butter and salt in there. And we're just going to bring this up to a boil. And on about a medium heat. And let that flour that's in the potatoes cook and thicken up, and that's going to be our country potatoes. Alright, so the pork chops are coming along now. The cabbage is already steamed. I've got those apples are here, and that's the pink lady apples. They've got cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, and butter, and a little sugar on them. And then back here, right there, purple hull crowder peas. And so all I have to do now is wait for the pork chops to get done. Oh, where are you? There you are. Back up. Yeah, there we are. Alright, so all I have to do is wait for the pork chops to get done, which should take 20-25 minutes. And they are cooking now on medium-low. And my potatoes are already boiling, so I'm just going to stir those a little bit and let that milk, flour, and water mixture thicken up. and that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up my biscuit dough for the fried biscuits. Well, I'll probably wait a little while until I turn the pork chops over on the other side and they're pretty well done. All right, we'll be back. All right, our pork chops are done now, and what we have left in the skillet are those little, let me show you, those little bits right there. So we're going to make the biscuits up real quick over here and put them in the skillet. Still got my burner on medium low. So I've got my hands washed really good. We're going to take about 2 tablespoons of Crisco shortening, mix that all up in the flour, and I use the Daily Bread self-rising flour. To me, that makes the best biscuits ever. And so we're going to fry out these biscuits right on top of those little bits of stuff that cooks off the pork chop. So just mix that up a little bit, and we're not going to roll these out. We're just going to put them in with a spoon today. So I'm using whole milk buttermilk. I'm not measuring that because I'm just going to be able to sort of tell when it's of the right consistency. You want to do this really, really fast. Alright, we've got it all mixed up now. Get it cleaned off my hands. Move this buttermilk out of the way. Put the skillet back on the burner. Let me give you a close-up of that. Wait, hold on, I gotta wash my hands. Yeah, get a close-up. Maybe I can do it before I wash my hands. I'll put the biscuits in. Alright, so I'll just leave them like this. I'm just gonna take a big spoon, and the skillet's still hot. Just put them right in. They don't have to be perfect. Right in on top of all those little bits. These around just a little bit. Alright, now I don't think I've got room for any more. Yeah, I do. One more in there. There we go. Now they're not pretty, but they sure do taste good. Alright, so we're going to turn that burner up a little bit to medium, and we're going to let those cook, and I'm going to have to wash my hands, and we'll be right back. Alright, I forgot to mention I put a lid on these biscuits just to keep the heat in there a little more, but they're ready to flip over now. I just use a fork, go in and kind of balance it on the fork and flip it over. And you can also make these kind of fried biscuits if you cooked fried chicken. But not, if you deep fried it, but you don't want that much oil still left in the pan. Whoops, look what happened to that one. Oop, flip it over. Yeah, see all those bits are cooked onto the biscuit. I'll have to flip that one over again, cook that little bit. Alright, we're going to put the lid back on and let them finish cooking. And meanwhile, I'm going to fix our iced tea and get our plates ready. So we'll be back. Alright, here's what the meal looks like. Well, let me show you the biscuits first. I'll take one of those out and put it on my plate. And one for Mr. Bucky's plate. There we go. Okay, so we've got fried pork chop, biscuits fried in the same grease that the pork chop was fried in, potatoes with that little bit of sauce on them that's made with flour, butter, milk, and a little water, purple hull crowders, steamed cabbage, and these are some of the pink lady apples. And of course we've got our iced tea. So there's what it looks like. And I am super starving because it's almost 4 o'clock. All right, we will see y'all next time.